Okay, so let's continue. We were talking about an electrochemical cell and how does electrolysis occur, right? So we talked about, in the previous video, we talked about an electrochemical cell. Electrochemical cell is made up of a battery. It contains, which has a positive terminal and a negative terminal, right? Otherwise, they're also called as the electrodes, right? And we have a battery, right? And the battery has a positive terminal. The bigger line, longer line, it represents the positive terminal, and the shorter line represents the negative terminal. And both of these terminals are connected to, okay, please excuse me. Okay, so sorry, call आ गई थी. So this is an electrochemical cell, and we have a positive terminal and a negative terminal, right? So to the positive terminal, we have and both of the terminals are connected to electrodes, right? So the electrode that is connected to the positive terminal is the positive electrode, and since it attracts the negatively charged ions, which are cations, sorry, the anions. That's why this terminal is known as the anode. Okay? And the negative terminal, on the other hand, is the negative electrode. Okay? And since it attracts the positively charged ions, right, which are the cations, so that's why the negative electrode is known as the cathode. Okay? Pretty simple. So so this is just a visual representation of the positively charged ions being attracted to the negative electrode. So these are the cations, and the negatively charged ions or the anions being attracted to the positive electrode. Okay, so right here we have the process of electrolysis. This is a really good diagram, and you can see that the sodiums are being attracted to the cathode, right? Because it's negatively charged, and the chloride ions are being attracted to the anode, right? So opposites attract, as it says here. Okay, so now how to remember? This is a simple way that you can use to remember the anode and cathode. So yeah, so cations are positives because cats and how they have pos, so they are positive. So cations are positive, and they live in cat's home. So yeah, so that's why cathode. And anode, obviously you can just the opposite is for anode, right? So if you know, okay, cathode is negatively charged, so you know that the anode is automatically positively charged, right? Okay, so when we talk about electrolysis, we talk about the breakdown of a chemical compound into its individual constituent atoms, right? So uh, for example, we have sodium chloride. So yeah, we have this example. We'll be using this example to learn about electrolysis. So sodium is positively charged, and sodium will be attracted to the negative electrode, that is cathode, right? On the other hand, chloride is negatively charged. It will be attracted to the positive electrode, that is the anode. Chloride ions have an additional extra electron, right? So Maham, will it lose this electron and will it gain more from the anode?
It will lose.
Obviously, yes, it will lose this electron, right? So when chloride ions will lose this extra electron, so this extra electron will be lost and it will travel all the way across this wire. Okay, this electron is traveling all the way across this wire and will travel all the way through the battery. Okay, and then it will end up on the other side. Okay, it will end up in the cathode. Now, at the cathode, what will happen is these electrons will be gained by sodium. Okay, sodium, which was the cation and was deficient in the electrons. So you can see that actually this is a redox reaction occurring. So yeah, one of the species is losing electrons and the other species is gaining electrons. So what is a loss of electron called? Azlan, what is a loss of electron
Oxidation.
called? Oxidation, exactly. So at the anode, we'll have oxidation. Okay, and the easiest way to remember oxidation at the anode is by using the word, by just remembering a simple sort of a mnemonic or a simple memory aid, which I'll tell you about later. On the cathode side, we have sodium, which is gaining electrons, right? So we know that the gain of electrons is equivalent to reduction. This is basically a redox reaction occurring, right? So electrolysis is actually reduction and oxidation at play. So at the anode, we have oxidation, right? So you can remember this oxidation at anode as anox, okay? Anox means the oxidation at the anode. On the cathode, we have reduction, so you can remember this as red cat, okay? So anox and red cat. So yeah, remember this, anox and red cat. So this is an easier way to remember, okay, what type of reaction occurs at each electrode.